Heavy rainfall is ongoing along the west coast today, especially in Southern California, with up to 8 inches of rainfall expected in the next 24 hours in the Los Angeles area, with flooding likely. And in the northeast here, we have a snowstorm exiting the northeast U.S. with heavy snow along the main coastline here. But you can see where the big show is here, all along the west coast. Moisture streaming up to the north. Very serious situation here. Also want to point out the some snow and ice up here in the far northern Great Lakes area. And good morning. Moving on to the ACRRR model run, I wanted to first wish y'all a Merry Christmas and happy pre-Christmas, Christmas Eve, I guess. And I hope y'all and you get to spend time with your families, enjoy Christmas, and I appreciate all the support. And lastly, like my video if you like it, subscribe and share it with your friends. Hope you all have a great week. Here we go. So, you got the HRR model depicting the stream of moisture along the west coast here with the flooding risk, just incessant flooding all along the coast for the next couple days here. And on the northeast, we have this snowstorm exiting the area today with heavy snow ongoing. So quite impactful events today in these areas. All right. And this is a simulated radar from the ACRRR model. And going forward with this, 7 hours out. So we're starting 7 a.m., roughly 6 a.m. You can see what this shows here. I have this system kind of dragging down to the northeast up here, the southeast, in the northeast quarter. Heavy snow in the mountains. Lines of storms moving through the Los Angeles area. Heavy snow, even rain and snow into Nevada, parts of Phoenix, Arizona, up all along the west coast up to Seattle and Washington State and Oregon. Get to 8 hours out. This model is currently running. 1 p.m. today. Going to be a horrible day to travel in the California coast. So we switch over to the NAM a little further out. Going back to hour 8 here. Let's see. Let's start off today, 6 a.m. Just moisture moving on shore all day here into the Los Angeles area. Then letting up some. But then you have heavy rain into the desert area, desert southwest, all into Idaho, and some snow into Montana. Another system off the west coast here, bringing more rainfall to Northern California, adding insult to injury. And with this here, Nevada mountains getting even more snow. Gonna really build up a snowpack there, okay? And the low that, this low is going a little further north, hanging offshore here in parts of Oregon and Seattle, getting some snow, maybe. Let me see. Seattle likely getting rain, but unsettled weather along the coast here. And this is Friday, the day after Christmas. So we go through Christmas Day, tough travel day in the Northern California. And we have another system moving through the Northeast around Christmas, right? Mostly snow up into the main area. And some more moisture streaming in the south of that, on a boundary, looks like, pushing out to sea. And then get a little further out, just as far as this model goes, Friday, 1 p.m. Well, it looks to be a potential heavy snow event here in the northeast corridor, the mid-Atlantic, maybe impacting the big cities here. Still leftover moisture streaming onshore along the west coast. Now we go a little further out with the Euro. 60 hours. Let's see, 66. This is Saturday evening. Well, got a little far here. System moving through the northern stream here, right? What looks to be potential for heavy snow here along the east coast. This model doesn't really depict it that well. The potential icing event, but also a potential icing event here into parts of Pennsylvania, also all Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C. So, quick mover, but still potential for high impacts here. Let's look at the GFS, see what it's showing. It's showing heavier snow here, but the same scenario along the East Coast. Right? Let's go to the 6Z run. Pretty much the same thing here, guys. So, EuroAI, pretty much the same thing with a bullseye of snow here. Now we look at snowfall totals. Let's take a look here, see what the European ensemble is going to show for snowfall totals here. It has more of a bullseye up here into the into Maine. This is from the original system, not the one that come through here. Potentially 3, 4, 5 inches of snow here with this event. That's generally model ensemble guidance, right? So we look out west here, the snow totals, 40 plus inches of snow based on this model ensemble guidance. Now we look at rainfall totals. We'll go back. This is mean totals here through Saturday the 27th. Southern California, 6, 7 inches of rain. Okay. The mountains, of course, liquid equivalent, right? And we get further down the line here. We get further out, all the way through the 7th of January. You can see where most of the precip is expected to be, with a distinct lack of precip in the south here, right? The northeast corridor is going to remain under the influence of a northwesterly flow for the most part, so it's going to remain cold for the most part. Okay, and we'll go over that longer range outlook. The west coast is going to resume its onshore flow here further out in the period with more moisture and rainfall. So when we look at temperatures here, this is the European ensemble showing the mean temperatures, right? So starting off, let's say today at 1 p.m. down in South Texas near 80 degrees mean temperature, warm through Friday, Saturday for the South, for a good portion of the U.S., even into the Ohio Valley, Oklahoma in the 60s, record warmth, okay? Potential record warmth here. Cold air is building here. You can see a cold front pushing through further in the period here. This is Sunday. Cold air pushes to the south here. So definitely cooling off here in the midterm for a good portion of the nation. Those warm temps are pushed further south. You see the cold air remains firmly trenched up to the north here, entrenched, right? And maybe warming up some here in the south. But overall, that high pressure is suppressed to the south further and not nearly as warm as it was. So what are the current hazards? We got a multitude of hazards here, especially on the west coast. Flood watches, flood warnings, flood advisory, high wind warning, winter storm warning, flood watch for this whole area here. It's hard to look through all these because they're kind of embedded within each other, right? We have special marine warning, gale warning, all these different things going on. High winds, just a plethora of different products here, which echoes the extent and magnitude of what's going on here. And we wind advisories further east, and up north here we have gale warnings, winter weather advisories way up in the Washington State, avalanche warnings here in parts of Montana, and high wind warning into Wyoming here. Must be in a pass or something here. And then we have a lot of stagnant air, dense fog advisories over a pretty wide area here in the middle part of the country. And out to the east here, we have that exiting system, wind advisory in parts of eastern Pennsylvania, into parts of New York and Massachusetts. And we have winter storm warning for the Portland area, with weather advisories surrounding it, and a bunch of marine advisories as well. So quite a lot going on this morning. What's the forecast for the next couple of days? Highs for the Georgia area, upper 60s to upper 70s, with lows in the 40s, upper 40s, upper 50s for most of the state. And tomorrow, highs generally in the 70s and lows in the 50s. As far as precip and temps go, we can go through this real quick. Same thing, partly cloudy to sunny skies, highs in the 70s to the high 60s up north. Tonight, we talked about this in the 50s, partly cloudy overnight. Christmas Day, sunny, maybe a slight chance of rain for way up north here, partly cloudy otherwise, generally in the 70s. And we go 15 days out, you see that cold push of air, and then below normal temps through January, through the first part of January here, and coming back close to normal, and below normal lows, below freezing for quite a few nights in a row here. So as far as excessive rainfall, we have that high risk right offshore, onshore, say offshore. I'll get my pen going here. California, Los Angeles area, just it just makes my heart sink to see this. I just hope that people are prepared in this area today for this rainfall event. I know it's not uncommon in the winter time to get these, but this is a very impactful event with a high risk of flash flooding in the magenta area here. Okay, this high risk is not used very often, so, and you can see where the slight risk is, marginal risk, and slight risk all along the California coast. And even to tomorrow, we have a moderate risk of excessive rainfall, and all along the California coast still, slight risk into the California mountains, Sierra Nevada, marginal risk into parts of Nevada, Arizona, and Utah. We've still got a slight risk of excessive rainfall going into the 26th here on day 3. So, and into the mountains. And then thankfully, there's nothing for day 4. And right now, there's nothing for day 5. So, we're going to have a reprieve after that for a few days. So, one other thing that's important to look at, we have severe weather chances today along the California coast, right? And all threats are in play here. Tornadoes, 2% chance, wind, and hail in the mountains. Okay. Tomorrow, we still have a slight risk in the Southern California for severe weather. General thunderstorms in the interior of the West. Tornadoes are the threat along the coast here, with wind as part of that threat. No hail threat there. Going to day 3, in general, we got a chance for thunderstorms again in the along the California coast, inland into Nevada, parts of the Intermountain West, and interestingly enough, in the parts of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio. This is probably likely due to high winds. Okay, so this is the graphic for the atmospheric river. You can read this if you want to, stop and read it, but we talked about this. Extreme to major disruptions in travel, especially in the higher terrain. High elevation snow, strong winds through Thursday, high risk of flash flooding today, and widespread rainfall. And you can see the risk outlined here. As far as day 3 to 7 hazards, 26th to the 30th here. Sierra Nevada range, heavy snow expected day after Christmas. Possibility of heavy snow along the eastern corridor here, mid-Atlantic corridor, I-95 corridor being affected. The major cities here, New York, maybe Philadelphia, and the 29th up here into northern Maine. Hazardous cold and heavy precip possible here into Alaska. Significant waves in Aleutian Islands here. As far as precip goes, the 31st to the 6th, slight risk of heavy precip again along the west coast and the desert southwest. Snow, heavy snow possible again towards the end of the month and the beginning of January, all in the west here. Slight risk of high winds the 23rd through the 1st here in the eastern U.S. and into the Great Lakes area, and the 1st through the 6th in the northern tier of the U.S., northwest, excuse me, and slight risk the 31st through the 2nd of January, and the slight risk of high winds into parts of Alaska. No hazardous temps expected except for in Alaska, 31st through 6th. Now, the day 6 to 10 at temperature outlook, we see how it's trended much colder here with a good chance of below normal temps, and we talked about this with the ridge being suppressed further to the west here. Below normal temps expected in Alaska and above normal in Hawaii again. And of course, we're going to be below normal precip chances here in the south. The desert southwest going to be above normal. Looks like precip chances 29th through the 2nd, and maybe above normal up here in the far north, and split into parts of Alaska between below and near normal. Above normal precip in Hawaii. Looks like the cold temps are going to remain in Alaska and warm temps in Hawaii, with above normal temps expected for most of the U.S. here, with the exception of maybe Florida being below normal along the eastern seaboard, and up to the northeast, maybe below normal temps continuing here. Precip chances look to remain highest here in the desert southwest. Split again into Alaska. Above normal precip again in Hawaii. And you can see in this eastern seaboard expected to be below normal still. Near normal in the central U.S. and the Ohio Valley into the northeast corridor, with the exception of the east coast here. Week 3 to 4 temps. This hasn't been updated. This will be updated on the 26th, the day after Christmas. So Friday, this will be updated again. I think it'll be somewhat similar, but the East Coast, I think, is going to remain colder than normal. And here's your precip chances above normal out west here, northwest, upper Midwest, Ohio Valley, above normal, below normal in the south, and the equal to below chances in Alaska and above normal in Hawaii. So that's all I got for today, guys. Stay safe out there. Hope everyone has a great Christmas Eve. Most people are off today. If you have to work, we appreciate you, and we love you guys. I love you, everybody, of course. And God bless. We'll see you tomorrow.